Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review. And before I start, yes, I have changed the background. It's because I've recently rearranged my man cave, I'll call it. So all my gaming consoles are showing, which I'll show you in a different video because this is Transformers, not gaming. But anyway, ignoring the new background, today's review will be on Transformers Armada Skywarp. Now, as we can see, Skywarp here is a black jet, as he's always been. And I know it's been a while since I've done an Armada review, so you're probably thinking, so what's this guy's minicon? Well, if you remember my review on Smokescreen a few months back, you would remember that I didn't have Smokescreen's minicon. And with this guy, that's also the case, but this time I have a reason. Now, the Armada Starscream mold was a figure or mold I've been wanting for God knows how long. I didn't care what kind of Starscream figure it was, whether it was Starscream, Skywarp, Thundercracker, or even that Ramjet recolor of this guy. But not too long ago, I found a deal on eBay that had this Skywarp. It didn't have the minicon, but it had everything else. The missiles and both wings, which other Skywarp and Starscream figures I've been looking for lacked. So I decided to go with this guy, just thinking, well, I don't have Smokescreen's minicon, so it doesn't really make a difference. So yeah, I don't have this guy's minicon, but normally he's supposed to come with a minicon named Thunderclash, who is a small little jet. And not a huge Autobot truck like the name Thunderclash started out as. Yeah, this is Armada. They were just reading names at random. But anyways, let's have a look at Skywarp's jet mode. As you can see, his arms just stick out there awkwardly. Sure. Got the back, which instead of having thrusters, because this is actually a VTOL jet seen here, we have these missiles, and I'll show you the gimmick in it after I show you the 360. The top, and yeah, this is quite a big figure, so got the cockpit. Now, the underneath, unlike most other jet Transformers, we actually don't have that much robot junk underneath. We don't have any kibble, which is amazing. Now, before we get to this guy's transformation and the minicon I'll be using for the substitute, this guy actually has lights and sounds. And unlike other Armada figures, I actually have batteries in this guy. See, this is why you'd put the batteries, and he uses 3 LR44 batteries. And I actually do have batteries in this guy. So one of the noises is, if you push down on his cockpit, it just does some laser noises. And if you hold on to the cockpit, it goes on for as long as you want. So if you want to annoy your parents doing that, then be my guest. Now, another noise is underneath. If you push, from what I can remember, because I don't really use this sound that much. Oh, it's this button. My apologies, folks. It's this button you push. So if you push onto that button and then you press the cockpit, I have no idea what that noise is supposed to be. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a minicon attaching onto that, but Now, the last noise I'm going to show is, you see this minicon port? Well, if you push this back with your thumb, normally, well, if you push this back with your thumb, normally it's supposed to do something with these, but I'll show you that after I show you this noise. If you push on to that, it does that noise, and it seems to go on for God knows how long. So we just wait. There you go. So this noise goes on for a wee while, but if you just push onto the thing and just let go of it immediately, it just does the start thing. You have to hold on to it for a few seconds. I remember seeing a review on this guy by a YouTuber named Bolt Matrix, and when he did that noise, he seemed to just have trouble with it not stopping, and he even stated that flipping the cockpit up is what stopped it. Although, seeing how that it just stopped there without me doing anything, I'm assuming that was just a funny coincidence. But now let's show you his Minicon gimmick. And the Minicon I'm going to use as a substitute for Thunderclash is the laughing stock known as Nightbeat. If you see my review on Armada Sideswipe, you know how much I hate that figure. And how much I hate this Minicon's robot mode. But the reason why I'm going to use him is because he's actually thin enough to fit. So if we just attach that. And if I could just... There we go. It flips out these missile launchers. So, yeah. And if you just push onto here. That just hit my arm and that only hurt a minor bit. So if we just... There we go. So it flips out these missile launchers, and if you can attach on the Minicon, if you push that back, well, it's not supposed to do that noise. There we go. Instead of that long whooshing noise, it does that loud laser fire noise. So if we just move these back, and we'll get this guy transformed, but first, I have to prep the camera because this guy can get rather big. So I'll show you the transformation while holding him this time instead of it on the ground. So to start, what I like to do is push this downward like so, halfway, and then take these bits and just move them like so. So have it so it's like that, then turn that, and then turn that until it can go no more. Then if we just move the legs down, and then when you click that in, that's when it exposes Skywarp's head. We'll flip down the cockpit, and underneath we'll come in here, and we'll flip out these heels. If you can get a grip. Now for his arms, we'll just move those forward, and then if you can, without breaking your fingernail, just try and flip out his fists, which you could, if you'll just excuse me. There we go. So flip these out at the risk of your fingernails, and then take the wings and then just unhook those like so. And here we have Skywarp in his robot mode. This is where my tongue stops working. Now if I just show you a quick aerial shot, maybe we can see his entire robot mode. Now if we flip around to the back, we can see all this bullshit. I mean, this is my biggest complaint, as is with many other reviewers who reviewed this guy or Starscream. This bit just sticks out the back. I mean, I know it's for the gimmick, but couldn't this at least have folded downward? I mean, at least with the heels, it doesn't really it doesn't fall backward that easily thanks to the heels. Meh. Now, let's have a look at Skywarp's head. And as we can see, unlike other characters named Skywarp, this guy actually has a cool head. He's got a mouth plate similar to the Skywarp from Beast Wars II, who's actually just Silverbolt from Beast Wars. But this guy's also got a really cool looking head fin, which other Skywarps don't have, because normally you would expect Skywarp to just have the same head as Starscream, and that's it. Like, maybe a different facial expression, but still the same helmet. But with this guy, he's actually got this cool head fin, which his recolor, Ramjet, also has, and I think that looks badass. So if I just put my camera back on its stand. There we go. Now, gimmicks. Well, we can still do the pew pew noise. And we can still do the whooshing noise. So now I'm gonna waste a few more seconds of your time listening to that. And you are still able to deploy the cannons on the back. So if I can just get Nightbeat attached on. So here you can still do the shoulder cannons, although in this mode it's quite silly because you can't even see his face that well. So I think these are more intended for the vehicle mode, but do you see how the back had to suffer for this? So yeah. But if you want to, you can still activate the missile launchers. Oop. Also, yes, you can hit that button accidentally, as I've done many a time. But this guy's main gimmick is if you come here to this wing, his left-hand side wing, and if you can just get that detached and not have your Skywarp completely go crippled on you. So what you can do is you can detach his wing and actually fold that out into a sword. And my voice just cracked. But if we just add the sword to his hand, if I can even do that, it's probably just going to refuse. There we go. This is how I display Skywarp. I display him with his wing sword in his hand. And yes, the other guys can do this. Starscream can do this. Thunderkraken can do this. Yeah, the wing can just form a giant sword, and I think that's cool. I sort of prefer to display him like this, as I said. So, at least he's got a weapon he can use for robot mode. But now, for this guy's articulation. Head, surprisingly, there's nothing. I mean, of course, you can't even look look both ways, because these will get in the way. Sadly, his arm can't move up and down, but he can still have his sword on his back if he wants to look cool. He's got these cool elbows, although they don't move out, so he can't T-pose, but these can move out to the side. At the waist, there's nothing, sadly. Sadly, I don't think he can do the splits. No, he cannot. But it can move forward that far, can move back that far. He's got knees, and his legs can also swivel thanks to the transformation. And that's pretty much it, so a bit less articulation than what I'm used to, but seeing how this is Armada, I'm already used to Armada figures with poor articulation. Scavenger, anyone? But yeah, that's pretty much been my review on Armada Skywarp. Now, do I ever? Right at the end, my tongue stops working. But do I recommend Skywarp or any other version of this figure? Well, absolutely. Despite his lack of articulation, this guy looks awesome on a shelf. With the wing sword, the cool head with the head fin, and I suppose if you want to, you can display him with the shoulder cannons, but still, no matter what you do, this guy looks awesome on a shelf. My only gripe is, aside from the back, is this guy can be hard to find. Although maybe that's just where I live. But if you see this guy, or Starscream, or Thundercracker online for a good price, go ahead and get him, because this figure is one of my favorite Armada figures, next to Galvatron. So, this has been my review on Armada Skywarp, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.